Here in Miami, Coach Chris Bergeron, Miami with a 3-1 win tonight at number 15, UMass Lowell. Coach, you knew going into the first road game of the year, we talked about you were going to learn something about your team and how they handled and how they came out. What did you learn about your team tonight?
Well, I learned that we've got some fight to us. I think that's what it was. We battled hard. Our talk going into the game was a good first 5 minutes and fight for every inch. And I think with the exception of maybe three or four real hard pushes by Lowell, I thought we did a good job for the most part of keeping it a pretty simple road game. Took advantage of a couple opportunities around their net. But I learned our group is willing to fight and willing to battle. And obviously, we know we've got a good goaltender. But I think we did a nice job through two periods for sure. They pushed really hard in the third, which all top teams do and good teams do, and they were no different. I thought we weathered that storm as well. Not quite as good as we'd had through two periods, but I learned that our group was willing to engage in the battle.
We talked last year a lot about finishing games where you were ahead, that two-goal lead. A couple games in a row now where you've had a two-goal lead, been able to extend it. You mentioned the kind of opportunities they had in the third period, but what did you see from your group as far as how they closed the game out and that goal from Dukovac?
Well, Dukovac's goal was big time. I mean, that's one of the ones that hopefully that's a sign of what's to come. And then he just about made another big time play, and their goalie, he did make a big time play, and their goalie made a great save. I think, as we all know, anybody that follows hockey, the 3-goal lead is much better than the 2-goal lead. And at 2-0, the next goal is massive, and we found a way, and that is something that's eluded us over my time here. Not the last two games. The last two games, we took a 2-goal lead, made into a 3-goal lead in the third period. So we'll just learn from it. We'll keep pushing. Hopefully, we'll gain some confidence. We've earned confidence, I think, to this point, and now we rest and we get ready for tomorrow.
Third straight game with a goal for Joe Cassetti. Ended up with 3 points tonight. What have you seen from him, especially down low in front of the goal?
Yeah, that willingness to go to those hard areas. A good leader for us. He's a senior. He wants to have a good year. We see somebody, and actually, Tim, he's had a really good training camp. So I see that good 5 weeks just kind of carrying on over into the regular season. Not a surprise based on what we saw for 5 weeks.
Going into today's game, you had talked about trying to clean up as far as penalties and not giving up a lot of power play opportunities. Maybe too many in the first period. There were 3, but then only 1 man advantage for them in the final 40 minutes. And kind of what was the difference down the stretch in that?
I just think we're harping on it. I'm not saying that it's our fault that we did better tonight. I'm not taking the credit for that. Our boys know that we want to play to the edge without going over the edge. Going over the edge, you're out of control, which means you take penalties, or at least you bring in taking penalties into the conversation. We want to have poise and focus. I thought we were that tonight, and we were competitive. So it wasn't like we weren't fighting for the ice or things like that, and we watched them skate around. At least we weren't doing that for the most part. I just think we were disciplined tonight, and it's something as a group. We say it as coaches, but you can hear the players saying it too. You've got to be disciplined with your actions, and you don't want to be selfish in those situations. And I think we're learning.
You mentioned the play of the goaltender. We could probably have this discussion almost after every game, but another big game from Pearson and the stops he made early on to kind of keep it scoreless, and then you were able to find the offense in the second period.
Yeah, it's probably early on and then late, right? Early on and then a good portion of the third period, he was really good. And he's one of our best players, Tim. We expect that from him. He's earned that expectation. And tonight he was really good again.
Back at it tomorrow, 6:05 p.m. on Saturday. Coach, thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.